it's almost like test taking. You show up in a test and you're in flip-flops and a sweatshirt, right? And some sweatpants. You're going to be kind of like casual with your test taking. You're like, oh yeah, your mindset's not there. So I think for being here, to me, a couch is comfortable. I'm relaxed, I'm chill. And so having these talks is almost like we're just hanging out, and that's the environment. So camera doesn't exist, nothing else exists. Yep. It's easier to just kind of be out there.
That's the third person just sitting
kind
there.
of be.
That's all that is.
Whereas
they don't talk much.
I'll need to practice more in the studio because the studio gives me a feel. And that's only, and I say that for myself because previously rapping and recording in the studio, when I get into the booth, I get a booth mindset.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I'm in the booth. All right, gotta get it in.
So that's a great analogy, actually. How do you put yourself? How do you take your booth mindset, right, and take it into the studio? Or how do you take your comfortable conversation abilities to an interview? How do you take those to the other environment? Remember performance psychology, being able to perform at high levels regardless of what's going on.
Right. That's good. I'm gonna have to work on that.
Yep, that's a great one. Let's finish with that last topic though that you were just talking about earlier, and that's God, what is right with my mind? See, we'd be better in the mornings. I'm so done from today. I mean, I had a full-blown interview today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, where?
For another job.
Where at?
At South Central.
Oh, okay.
Just a different department. Right.
Okay.
Trying to move up. Which is like, I almost didn't want to do the interview because it's like, I don't even want to work here. I just want to do this, but you gotta take care of
performance psychology.
The bill, right? But so let's finish off with the session. We'll do a quick another quick session. We'll talk about. I had a perfect topic. That's why I keep wanting to write it down.
Yeah.
Monday Mythbuster.
We were talking about what to wear. We'll finish that. Can you change your YouTube channel after you've already named it?
Yeah.
So maybe we start out with Chaz and Scott.
For sure.
Get some video out there, get some people, and then ask the audience.
Absolutely. Okay. For sure.
Yeah. What would you like to see as the name of this channel? We want you to be involved. Obviously, what we talk about. The topics, and So I like team name.
I like that talk part.
Yeah, talk.
Yeah,
talk.
Career talk with Scott and Chaz.
Yeah,
sounds real good. Is career the right word? Success talk, professional, whatever. I don't know.
Monday morning quarterbacking. That's Linda's new word. Well, we don't always want a Monday morning quarterback because we're always looking in hindsight. If I had $1 every time,
I say, Linda, we won the game. I don't need that Monday morning quarterback.
She always brings it up when we failed. So when we take a loss.
Yeah.
So
no, that's another great topic. How to deal with difficult bosses. How to deal with difficult people at work.
Yeah.
It just goes. The list goes on and on and on. Okay, let's talk. Let's try to think of one 5-minute session so I can get one more video cut though out of this.
Questions after an interview?
Okay, we'll do that. Hey there, welcome and thanks for joining us. And that was a very awkward beginning. I always have that issue. That's why we actually script that part.
Yeah.
But welcome to another episode of Career Talk with Scott and Chaz. And
it actually sounded good. That flowed.
Yeah, something
Career Talk.
right.
Career Talk.
Practice.
Career Talk. Yep.
Right. You say it. You do it. The intro.
Ooh. All right.
Not easy, is it? Somehow it just gets started.
All right. Welcome back to Career Talk with Chaz and Scott. Today we're going to be talking about questions that you want to ask at the end of an interview.
And agreed. You should always ask at least something, right?
You always ask something.
Something.
And what's that magic number, right?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you how I look at it. When I'm teaching my students in the past and talking to them about questions after the interview, I get them to look at the interview process and their dealings with the interviewer as a relationship. Okay? So if you think about a relationship, any of your good friends, you have questions. You've talked to them. You know them, right?
You inquire. You want to
inquire more, right? So if I just simply say, can you give me a tour, right? I'll give you a tour, but it doesn't really mean that you're interested in working here. You just want to see what we're doing over here, right? But you want to ask meaningful questions, because if this was a relationship, a friendship, and I met you, hi, what's your name? Scott, right? My name's Chaz, okay? Are we friends? Are we besties? Are we, where does it go from there, right? If we depart from each other, met at a gas station, that's kind of all we know, right? So you want to ask questions that...
If you even remember the name.
If you remember the name. I've forgotten.
Which you should practice doing.
Right. Repeat the name after you've heard it.
If you need to.
If you need to.
Remember it.
Yeah, if you need to remember it. And so asking questions that are meaningful. So maybe, what's it like for a typical day in this position, right? It then shows the employer that you want to see yourself here. You're trying to gauge, you're trying to get an idea of what it's like to be here.
That's what makes it meaningful.
Right.
Because
that's what makes it meaningful.
You're actually projecting meaning to the employer.
Right.
You want it to be meaningful to them.
Correct.
Not yourself.
Not yourself, right. Meaningful to them, but beneficial to you, right?
Yeah.
Because it'll still give you that information. How will I be evaluated in the first 90 days, right? Because you want to make sure that you're doing well. Right? So again, another meaningful question that lets them know you want to be here and you want to do good, but I still need to know, right? It needs to benefit me.
It's a funny question that you just posed, because most employers won't even know how to answer that question.
Right.
And that's okay. You're not embarrassing, because in their mind they're going, hey, I need to get this person on board, right? They think like, I like how they think.
Correct. So it adds to that. And if I can go off range just a little bit, just to further build that relationship, simply ask the question, why do you work here? Right?
Wow, that's a good one.
Why do you work here? And they're going to be like, oh, well, I work here because, and then they're still not going to know what to say, right? They're going to be like, man, I was not expecting that. But man, how do I explain that? When you ask those questions, it catches the employer off guard. So catching them off guard is actually a good thing, because they went in thinking it was going to be a traditional interview. I'm going to ask them questions, they're going to answer them, and it's over, right? And that's how the employer and the employee usually go into an interview. Employees don't usually say, I'm going to ask questions at the end, because they're like, why do I want to ask questions? They think that...
They just want to get out of there.
And they think that the way an interview is set up is, you're supposed to ask me everything you want to know, and if you like what I say, then you hire me, right? But it's not. We're talking career level mindset, okay? And if you're going to be in a career, we're not talking about jobs, we're talking about careers. If you're going to be in a career, you want to know and be where you're at. And a nice little tip, right? When you ask your questions, write down their answers, right? That'll flip the table, because they've been doing that the entire time. What are your greatest strengths? What are your greatest weaknesses? All right. So now, why do you want to work here? And wait, right? You're like, hold on, wait.
That's a great tip. That's a great tip.
Yep.
Yeah, always take a pad of paper with you,
Yes.
something to write with. Job versus career, I like that too.
Yeah.
We need to talk about like how to distinguish that, so people
understand.
I want a career, not a job.
Right.
Let's talk to Scott and Chaz.
Yeah. And there are different jobs that can lead to a career. So when we talk jobs, we're talking about, I have a job at Walmart, and then I don't work there anymore, and now I'm at Target, and I don't work there anymore, and now I'm at Fred Meyer's, okay? but technically you're still in a retail industry, right? But when you take that one job at Walmart and you start out as a cart pusher, and then you go to cashier, then you go to customer service manager, then you go to support, then you go to assistant, that has become a career for you. You're in that industry and on that path.
That's good.
Longevity.
That's a good way to look at it.
Longevity. Yep. And happiness. What is it?
And I think to wrap that one thing up is that when you ask that question, I really love that question that you did. When you ask the employer, what is it about this company that you like, or why do you like working here? That information that they give you back is vital for your future.
Vital.
You might not want to work there based on their answer, so you really want to hear it.
You really want to hear it.
Yeah, and even if they have some kind of
floozy answer,
elevator stock cookie cutter answer, look at their facial expressions, look at their body language. You can tell, do they light up when you ask that question, or did they instantly start looking like they were going to call in sick the next day? Right. So that's important.
That's important. Body language.
There's nothing worse to actually go through the whole hassle of getting a job and not like working there.
Not like working there. I agree. So definitely a good question. And we could probably do a video on the top 10 questions that you should ask at an interview.
That you should ask.
That you should ask.
That's totally different.
Yes, not the one that will be asked.
Although we should do
both.
Top 10 questions that you could be asked.
Yes. If you were a vegetable, what vegetable would you be and why?
Do you remember the one that I used to ask? What that was like that? If you could be, I had a
any item,
superhero.
Like okay.
If you could be a superhero, who would it be and why?
Yes.
Or if you could have a superpower, depending what would it be and why?
Yeah.
And the reason why I asked that question had nothing to do with the answer.
No.
Zero to do with as the employer. Zero to do with the answer. It was how creative the answer was, and if it was answered at all, because that usually threw a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So I want to know if people can perform under pressure.
Right, and it does throw you off guard, but it also can add light to the interview, to where you kind of, as one of the last questions, you kind of phase out and get a piece of the personality, and you get away from that scripted robot that's been answering you for the last 10-15 minutes.
For sure.
Yeah.
We
I'd
need
be
to
an
start,
onion.
Say that, an
I'd be
onion?
an onion.
So did you really want to ask me that question?
Yeah.
If I could be a vegetable. I've never heard this one.
Tomato's not a vegetable.
I wouldn't be a tomato anyway.
And I don't know about an avocado.
I might have chose avocado. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I would be an artichoke.
Artichoke. Because you got heart?
I have a heart, and I have many skills surrounding my heart that I can peel off and hand people as they need.
Oh. Yeah, I've heard it all. I've heard potato because I can be used in many ways. I've heard onion because
You asked that
I'm
question?
full of many layers. Yeah, I asked it in career marketing. Just as one of the final questions,
Layers.
just to
See, that's what I was going with the artichoke.
layers. Yeah.
I like that concept.
Heard somebody say avocado, and they were like, because everybody wants one, and I'm like, no, not even happening. So
That's kind of funny though.
It is. And another topic is humor, good or bad in an interview. Join us next week, Monday Mythbusters.
Signing off. We
Career
need
talk.
we need an intro and an outro. And we need a bio. A
Biography.
both of us bio. So Scott and Chaz have 20 plus years of career development experience. Scott and Chaz have interviewed thousands of potential employees and taught thousands of graduates on how to be good in blah blah blah, right? All that stuff needs to be in the bottom. It needs to sound cool. Something, if you think of a good sentence or two, jot it down. Don't forget our community document on the OneDrive.
Okay.
I do throw notes. You can create a document in there, Chaz's folder, whatever. It's community, you know.
All right.
Hey Scott, look at this picture I just took. Instead of have to text.
Signing off. How do you want to sign off?
Yeah, I struggle with
Cashing out.
on my
Check,
keto
please.
on my keto channel. I can never